first season as a head coach here at Florida State, and the Seminoles looking to pick up their 10th ACC win. What an incredible run it has been for the Seminoles, and a new head coach for Syracuse as well. Felicia Leggett-Jack has done a tremendous job in her first year taking over at her alma mater. Syracuse currently 7-8 in conference play. Everybody in pink of some sort tonight, but it is the Seminoles in all pink. Syracuse in the white with the pink trim. It is the Paint It Pink night for Florida State.
It's primarily zone defense by Syracuse, and that's one way to bust it up, is knocking down triples. Florida State averages 7 a game.
Get you your starting 5 for Syracuse. Dyaisha Fair, we've told you about her. Alaina Rice, Georgia Woolley, the sharpshooter from Australia. Kyra Wood, the captain, and Dariauna Lewis, one of the top double-double performers in the ACC. 8 to shoot.
Florida State starts out man-to-man. They're hedging those ball screens.
Making it tough on the Orange right off the bat, but at the buzzer, what a bucket by Rice.
Wow, what a play. And this is the kind of game, not much easy, no transition, but you absolutely have to keep this one. 0-0 in front. Even with a zone, she takes it off the bounce. That's how quick she is. She's got great explosion to her game.
Syracuse coming off a big win last week, taking down 14th ranked North Carolina. This is their 3rd straight top 25 opponent. An opportunity for the Orange to really make a push as we head toward the end of the regular season. Fajetti lost it. There's Woolley open in the corner.
Well, I was going to give Dyaisha Fair an assist for that because she tapped it over there so Woolley could get her feet set. Georgia Woolley, one of the really good three-point shooters for this Syracuse team.
Rice, her shot off the front of the rim. Jasmine Massengill, transfer from Kentucky. Fajetti, good moves to the basket, but there is a foul call just at the end of the play. She'll head to the free throw line.
So far, Florida State's doing an excellent job getting in the gaps of this zone. This is a great change of pace and a hard take by Sarah Fajetti, who is excellent off the bounce, but also a very good three-point shooter who can get hot. If she makes her first 3, she'll string a few together.
And free throws have been a bit of a conundrum for Florida State their last couple of games, coming off back-to-back losses for the first time all season. And typically Florida State a very good free throw shooting team. They're at about 77% in conference play, which leads the league, but closer to 50% in the last 2. Fair, tough shot.
That's a really tough 2, contested 2. Good defense by Fajetti, who's got that assignment early.
Good idea, get it to 0-0. Latson has 4, and Florida State in the lead on their home floor here in the first quarter tonight. Basketball is presented by Ally. Whatever you're saving for, we're all better off with an Ally. Great to see some of those big performances on other Paint It Pink nights here at Florida State. Sue Simrau, the legend on the sideline, wearing her pink well, and Brooke Wyckoff, of course, played for Coach Sue, now taking over. And, you know, we've seen some inspired performances as we've seen some pink games going on across the ACC. We'll see if that can help Seminoles out tonight.
That first picture of Gabby Bevillard, I was here that night. It was very emotional in the building. And she had just recently lost her mom. The power of pink.
Syracuse does get a bucket off the timeout.
That's when you know you got a good ATO. When you settled your group down, they were 1 for 5. They took a couple of contested shots. And what's key for Syracuse is getting back and setting their defense, not allowing Florida State to chop them up and slice them up with their cutting game.
Well, Alaina Rice has all 4 points, both baskets for the Orange so far.
This will be a great matchup. Sarah Fajetti's got the foot speed to stay with Dyaisha Fair. Dyaisha Fair, number 2 in white, is the second best scorer in the ACC. 0-0 for Florida State as a freshman. She leads the league in scoring. Both are over 20 points a game.
Jump ball called. Jeffrey Smith, Brandon Innerline, Ashley Good, our officiating crew for tonight. And by the way, if you want to go with just conference-only stats, well, we still have the top 2 scorers in the league. Just reverse them. Dyaisha is first. Tanaya is second.
In a league that has great guards and always has great guards in the ACC, these two have really been impressive in their first year in conference play.
And Dyaisha Fair, the transfer following Coach Jack over from Buffalo. Had a number of players that did that. Tisha Hyman into the game, finds Fair. And she's not going to be much more open than that all night long, and that's what happens.
She is so confident, and Felicia Leggett Jack, the head coach for Syracuse, only instills confidence. She wants her scoring, she wants her taking shots. She's got the ultimate green light.
I think you could say the same for Latson on the other end. Talking to Brooke Wyckoff earlier today, does not want to add pressure to her freshmen to think too much. Do what you do. We want you to score and be the leader she has been most of this season for the Seminoles.
You come off the ATO, you get an executed bucket, and then you get a steal. And now you get an easy opportunity in transition. Dyaisha Fair just needs to get organized. She's got great range.
Erin Howard committing the foul on that last play. So 15 on the shot clock now for Fair and Syracuse.
That's that footwork I was talking about, her separation skills. That's what's different about her and Latson. Latson's more of a downhill driver.
Hyman off the front of the rim. Rebound pulled down by one of the best in the ACC, Makayla Simpson.
That's back-to-back turnovers by Bigetti, trying to do too much.
Fair flying down the floor.
You just got to make the easy play right now. You don't need to make the home run play.
What did Brooke Wyckoff say she wanted to see from her team to start this game? I mean, it was on the defensive end in particular. Remember, Florida State is coming off a game at Virginia Tech where they gave up 34 points in the first quarter on the road. They went on to outscore the Hokies the rest of the game, but the hole proved too big to climb out of. Woolley, she gets it to go.
See, Woolley is a three-point threat. She's got size. You got a player with a long closeout. Make her make a play moving her feet. She just showed you she can. But you got to keep doing that on the scout.
Taylor O'Brien hit the last bucket for Florida State. Make it 2 in a row. This one for 3.
The lefty was missed during those 10 games when she had that lower leg injury. Now she looks like she's got her game speed back.
Player with a lot of experience, 4-year player at Bucknell, and she had 9 points in Florida State's last game that tied for the most since her return from that injury. She was averaging 16 before she got hurt. Bigetti so quick to the rim.
So Florida State on their ball screen defense is hedging, and they tag from the backside, and they do a great job getting a steal.
Tisha Hyman going the other way for Syracuse. She's been out for a couple of games as well. Good to see her getting back on the floor, coming off the bench the last 3 now for the Orange.
If Valencia Myers was recognized before the game for playing the most games in a Florida State uniform, Tisha Hyman's been at Syracuse a long time. This is her 5th year. She's had some injuries. She hasn't played 5 straight years, but she's been a part of a couple of different coaching staffs at Syracuse.
First points of the game for Timpson. 4-point Seminole lead. Woolley. Well, this is just drive to the basket,
I like
isn't
it. I love no fouls. Don't foul, but do a better job of keeping your player in front.
Just been 2 fouls called in total so far in this game. Massengill pulls up in the paint. Timpson, the only one there in pink. No problem. She gets it done.
See, Brooke Wyckoff can put different people inside that zone in the ACC logo area, and Massengill is a perfect player to put in there once in a while because of her playmaking skills. That time she looked to score.
Jasmine Massengill, first year with the Seminoles, spent 2 years at Tennessee, then 2 years at Kentucky, won the SEC tournament championship. The Wildcats had the game-winning assist in that game last year.
She leads her team in assists, right? She's not a great free throw shooter for a point guard, which is an issue late game.
Here's O'Brien. Trio of players came in off the bench, including Valencia Myers, who you mentioned just a few moments ago. #1 all-time in games played for Florida State.
Another turnover by the Tigers. Already 5 turnovers.
It's hard to get those possessions. You turn the ball over. Clemson's going to have to do a better job of taking care of the ball, especially to have Spearman, big body at the top of now a 1-3-1 that Miami's in.
Harden, Williams, Cavender, Pendande.
A very fast backcourt. So you got Latson who scores. Bigetti's got 3 turnovers. She's the complementary guard here. She's got to stop turning the ball over. Then you got Fair, who's the scorer for Syracuse, and you got Hyman, who has 3 turnovers, a complementary guard. Make the simple play right now. Like that. That's a simple play, draws a foul. Great decision by Hyman to get to the paint and drop it off. See, now Latson's going to pick up her second, and that's not a good decision by her. From behind, she tries to get a block. How about Lewis creating that block by hanging in the air a little bit? So now Latson's got to sit down, and I can tell you right now, on this side of the floor, I'm not happy. I want her to play.
Well, so too do most of those here in the Tucker Center. The freshman has just been absolutely dazzling this season, and we'll see how this affects Florida State with her having to go to the bench.
She's a hardworking, humble kid, Tania Latson. I had her on my podcast earlier this year. I was so impressed with her IQ.
Taylor O'Brien has done well coming off the bench, averaging 4.6 points per game against ACC opponents. Already has 5 tonight. Lewis looking to get a little more active from the logo, has her first field goal.
Well, Felicia Leggett-Jack knows that Syracuse has been hedging on those ball screens, and she puts the right combination together to be able to get that short roll to the rim, or short roll in a bucket.
So we'll see how the Seminoles look on the attack without Latson on the floor. Mariana Valenzuela, the sophomore out of Mexico, gets her first points.
She's been a very good player for them off the bench because she can score. Her percentages are excellent from the floor and from 3, both over 50%.
Hyman is fouled as she tries to drive.
That's a really well-designed play by Coach Jack because you got Fair in the corner who you can't help off of, and you got Hyman driving down the lane line. So if you pinch from the corner, you're going to leave Fair open for a 3. Hyman is athletic enough to get all the way to the rim and draw a foul.
Big night of hoops here on ACCN tonight. Coming up next, Diamond Johnson and NC State hosting Deja Kelly, number 19, North Carolina. A rematch between these two rivals. North Carolina winning the first meeting 56-47 earlier this season.
When this game is over, I'm going to get security to clear a path so you can get out of here, Jen. We got to hustle up, okay? So get all your stuff together and get ready to move. We got to go watch that game.
All right, I'll make a concerted effort. You know me well. There's a lot to gather. O'Brien got a lane and took advantage.
Another player off the bench, and as we move closer to March, depth off the bench is critical to be able to win a championship and to go deep into the NCAA tournament. More critical, though, in the conference tournament because you got to play 3 or 4 days in a row.
That block by Valencia Myers not only kickstarts this break right here for Florida State that they're trying to capitalize on, but it sets a new school record. Oh, they deserve some points out of that, but this Florida State team has now blocked more shots than any other Florida State team in history, and Tisha Hyman traveling behind the play there, committing the foul.
Good take right there by O'Brien.
So Florida State back in possession. Hyman turned it over.
I'm a big believer you can't have enough guards. And Florida State's got a good combination of guard play by committee. They can survive having Latson in foul trouble.
And we talked about that game coming up next, NC State, North Carolina, two teams whose depth certainly have been tested this season. NC State, Wes Moore's had a short bench to work with most of the season. North Carolina's been dealing with some injuries.
Yeah, let's see if North Carolina has been missing 3 starters, so we'll find out because they've all been game time decisions if they're available to play.
Fair to Hyman. Good offensive rebound by Woolley. Still the Orange keep it in possession. Hyman just hanging around the basket. Massengill always looking to pass up the floor. One of the best assist to turnover ratios in the ACC for Massengill this season.
You got to make a quicker decision with the ball when you catch it in that logo area. Because of that right there, Fair dropping down from the top and getting a deflection.
Maria Gordon goes off for Florida State, and Sarah Bigetti coming back onto the floor. Sarah, senior out of Helsinki, Finland. Her parents told in the house tonight, getting to watch her play. 5 on the shot clock. From the corner, it is Howard for 3.
She's made the most triples for Florida State this year. That would be 44 on the season.
21 straight games with at least 1 3-pointer made for Erin Howard. Foul on this end.
Watch how quickly she exit cuts to the perimeter and gets her feet under her shoulders. You don't just sprint hard to basket cut. You got to exit cut quickly. Nobody does it better than Steph Curry. Erin Howard doing a really nice job of getting her feet down quickly.
And as Syracuse takes it over here, Debbie, do the Orange need a little more Dyaisha Fair? Has she been involved enough to this point?
I mean, I think she's being patient and waiting for her opportunity.
Rice with the shot clock winding down, follows her own shot, and there's some of that effort you talk about. Syracuse, not a big team, but they do get after the boards, and this time it was 2 teammates who wind up getting the travel and the turnover called. The Orange have missed their last 8 from the floor, gone over 3 minutes without a point as Florida State has a 10-point lead. Simpson looking to make it a little bit more.
Simpson is such a great athlete. We haven't seen her block a shot yet, but she leads the ACC in that category. She has a wingspan of 78 inches, which is like having a 6'6" player inside. And she's only 6'2", and that's what she's listed at, but she plays much bigger than that. Oh, as I say
on cue for you, Debbie Antonelli.
They're gonna call a foul. Timpson, I'm sorry, thinks she's got all ball.
I think that look said it all. What do you think? Oh, she wanted the block, not the call on the floor. Back to Tallahassee, Debbie, since you brought up the shot blocking of KK Timpson, and since I saw you doing all kinds of studying before the game, let's break this down a bit, shall we?
So, 57% of the shots she blocks into their transition game. It's an incredible weapon. It happens to be the same number that Derek Lively, the second best shot blocker in the ACC on the men's side, has. 57% means she's blocking the basketball into their transition game, giving them numbers going the other way. It's an incredible weapon on your defense. Also, it changes what you can do on the perimeter because you know she's back there looming and has the athleticism and the length to be able to protect inside. That allows you to get a little bit more aggressive on the outside.
Latson back on the floor for Florida State. She went out just a few seconds into the second quarter after picking up her second foul.
I like that play, though, by Massengill, because that was a much better decision very quickly when she caught the ball. She was ready to make a play.
Dyaisha Fair, 5 points in the game for the ACC's second leading scorer. She averages over 20 and has scored over 20 in 4 straight games. Inside goes the basketball, and that's 2 points for Sanaya Wilson off the bench, and then the Orange take it right back. You see Alaina Rice holding her ankle there as that contact occurred. She is called for the foul.
Okay, you have to referee the defense there. Okay, and you have to obtain legal guarding position. You don't have to necessarily be still, but you got to get your feet facing the defense first.
th meeting all time between these two teams.
Your feet facing the offense, Jen. Sorry,
yeah,
said it backwards.
Yeah, it looked like Fajetti, who does have such quick feet, maybe fortunate with that call. Another look for Wilson, and there is Simpson going up high for the rebound. Jump ball.
With Simpson's wingspan and her vertical and how quick she is off her feet.
A young talent on this Florida State team. Simpson, just a sophomore, member of the ACC All-Freshman team last year out of Edison, Georgia. Latson on Fair. Fair's got that. Step back. Gotcha.
See, and Fair knows she's got 2, and she's back out here guarding me. The next time, I bet Fair doesn't settle for the 3.
Fajetti. Simpson gets it back. Up and in. And one more, perhaps.
There's that quickness off her feet that I'm talking about. Down here, look, sizing it up, sizing it up. Got the separation off the bounce. She can pull it back, and Latson's not going to be overly aggressive in that matchup.
First personal foul there committed by Fair.
And the other thing too, Jen, how about Brooke Wyckoff trusting her rookie with 2 fouls to put her in right now when it's a 2-possession game?
Well, she did send her to the bench.
Offense, defense maybe here, look,
Yep.
to the end the quarter here, the last 3 minutes.
Fair wanting another. She's already hit 2 from downtown. Alicia Leggett-Jack saying her team wanted to come in here and change the narrative about this program. Where people maybe don't have an NCAA tournament expectation, but they do. And a win on the road against a ranked team here tonight would sure go a long way toward helping that conversation. But it is Florida State in the lead at the moment. Seminoles trying to snap the first 2-game losing streak of the season. Already a 20-win year for the Seminoles, 9-5 in conference play, sitting just outside the top 4 coming into tonight. Busy night in ACC women's basketball.
When you hold the ball against the zone, you allow the zone to shift. You got to move the ball. Valenzuela with a nice bucket.
Now she's got 4 points in the game. Good balanced effort for the Seminoles.
You know what? Coach Jack did a really good job of managing getting that foul, because if you were watching that matchup in the post on the other end, it was getting physical in there. So Florida State got 1, now Syracuse got 1. That's how you clean it up.
Great to see both of these head coaches, two of the 4 first-year head coaches in the ACC this year, first year with the program, should say. Brooke Wyckoff, of course, has been a part of the Florida State staff, played at Florida State, just as Coach Jack had a tremendous playing career at Syracuse.
Got to be something special about coaching your alma mater. And John Wildhack, when he was looking for a new head coach, he didn't have to look too far, because Felicia Leggett-Jack sometimes says she's got to pinch herself. She can't believe she's back on campus coaching her alma mater, and she absolutely loves it. She was at Buffalo, which isn't too far from Syracuse.
Good look inside. O'Brien has been impactful off the bench, not this time. Hyman takes it herself, has a couple of rebounders, Rice amongst them, and Alaina Rice, who started her career at Florida A&M here in Tallahassee, then went to Auburn, Florida native. She now has 7.
That's the kind of ball movement I'm talking about. Don't hold the ball. Good movement. Then you're late on your rotation. This is just a good job right here. No, the ball doesn't stick. Fill behind the penetration, reverse it. Throw it inside. If you don't throw it in there, that foul may not be called.
4th team foul on the Orange. 4-point game. Florida State led by as many as 10. O'Brien. Latson once again back on the bench for Florida State. Hasn't scored since picking up that 2nd personal foul right at the start of the 2nd quarter. All 7 of her points coming in the first 10 minutes of the game. Good hands defensively by Bajetti.
See, Hyman and Fair can't have that miscommunication in a close game. You got to take care of business. Those 2 guards are going to handle the majority of the ball handling responsibilities.
Why not, says Mariana Valenzuela. You said what a good shooter she has been, Debbie, by percentage. 55% of the threes she's knocked down this season. 7 points in the game.
Bench points been important for Florida State in this one.
16 they've gotten, doubling what Syracuse has gotten off the bench. 4 to shoot. Woolley gets a little closer, and that's good.
He's really got an all-around game, Georgia Woolley. Kids from Australia. Transferred from Buffalo along with Coach Jack.
5-point game for now as Omaria Gordon is fouled, so she'll head to the free throw line. Sophomore out of Bradenton, Florida.
On the top of that zone, Rice can't get hung up on that screen. Most teams like to weak that, which means make them go their opposite hand, their non-dominant hand. Don't let her get to her right hand.
Seminoles 2 for 4 from the free throw line so far tonight. Have not had too many opportunities. Syracuse 5 for 8 on the other end.
Look how far off the free throw line she is. It doesn't matter what you do as long as you make them, and that works for Gordon.
24th ranked Florida State trying to keep Dyaisha Fair and Syracuse in check. That rainbow of a shot won't go to end our first half, and so it is the Seminoles in the lead by 7. We came on the air talking about what this meant to both teams. There is a lot on the line, and to catch you up on all of it, plus everything else going on in the world of ACC hoops, are
the line and stay with them on the glass, and they've done both of those things pretty well.
Yeah, Syracuse has certainly had the advantage overall in rebounding, and especially offensive rebounding, as you can see there. Keeping it close. Florida State led by as many as 10 in the game.
Even though this is an undersized Syracuse team, they are +3 on the glass for the season. And when we talked to Coach Jack about it, she said by committee and her guards get on the boards.
First 2 points of the second half go to who else? Dyaisha Latson. All 7 of her points coming in the first quarter of the game. As you mentioned, she was pretty limited. Didn't get to play an awful lot in the second. Fair. Erin Howard will just watch that one go out of bounds. It is the painted pink night here in Tallahassee for Florida State, hence all the pink you see on the floor.
I love it when a senior looks at her teammates and goes, my bad, right? Good execution. They ran a great set for her. She didn't make it. She goes, you know, it's my fault. Now watch her D up here, because she won't take a play off. I'm talking about Fair.
Oh, Latson tried to dish at the last second, but the defense was ready for it. She needs to be careful playing to the 2 fouls. And then it is Simpson picking up the foul on the inside. Sanaya Wilson, the 6-foot sophomore for the Orange, fouled on the play.
You know what? I like what Fair did there, and I love that the official let it go. It did not matter, that right there. So we don't want her picking up a third. We, saying fans, meaning we as fans, want to see the best players play.
I think you'd have to say Syracuse got exactly what they would have wanted there. Woolley, as open as could be. Howard knocked down a couple of those in the first half. Alaina Rice, what a good game. 12 rebounds already for Rice in Syracuse. That's a new career high for her. That's all in the first half. Wilson getting the start in the second half for Syracuse. Viggetti somehow comes away with it still in her hand. It's the 5 who started the game for Florida State on the floor. The only change for Syracuse is Sanaya Wilson out there to start the second half rather than Dariauna Lewis.
I mean, Syracuse all over the offensive glass. That's 15 offensive rebounds.
Would like a few more second chance points. Only have 7 off of those offensive rebounds, but there's another one, and nobody even there to challenge Dyaisha Fair for that long rebound.
Good D by Viggetti. She's moving her feet. She's staying off the contact. Dyaisha Fair shoots 5 free throws a game. They've done a really nice job of keeping her off the line. She hasn't been there yet.
Dyaisha Latson trying to help her Florida State team snap a 2-game losing streak. That's a good way to do it. Finding a wide open KK Simpson.
Really a battle in the paint.
And Woolley going to work.
I think Wilson's doing a really good job of posting up hard in there.
Rice standing her ground defensively as Latson tries to drive.
You draw help, Wilson steps up, you're playing the middle third. Can be no help from the corner or no drop down help. It's a good read.
I mean, you want to pick up an assist, go to number 21. There's a lot of hands in her face this time. Gets a little help on the putback with Howard. But Simpson shooting at over 60% from the floor for the season. That leads the ACC top 10 in the country. Wilson spinning around Simpson on this end.
That's exactly why Wilson is starting the second half, because she is a body inside that can post up. She's listed as 6 feet tall, but she looks bigger than that next to Timpson, excuse me.
Viggetti, Simpson.
Watch Wilson go to work. Before the ball gets in, it's a tough angle. Look at the catch. Swipe through, over the top. Good footwork.
And another benefit of Florida State going inside to Timpson is they just had Wilson commit her third personal foul. So as you just saw, she's been making an impact on the floor for Syracuse. She's got to go to the bench. Miss on the first free throw for Timpson, who's about a 70% free throw shooter on the season. Valencia Myers, the newly minted all-time appearances leader in this Florida State program, comes onto the floor, and Timpson will get a little break. Woolley. Erin Howard, the guilty party, picks up her second personal on the play. And Georgia Woolley, another one of those players who can just get hot and go off, and she's been hot for Syracuse the last few games in particular. Hyman looking very confident, and then found a wide open Dariauna Lewis.
After turning the ball over early, which Dyaisha Hyman did early in the first quarter, she's not turned the ball over since.
Fajetti with the drive, and Lewis had to come over and help. And now she's got two personal fouls.
Hyman backing down, Massengill. She draws the help from Myers, Valencia Meyer, and then she finishes the play. It's a really good decision. It's what you expect from your upperclassmen.
Fajetti knocks down the first. Those two losses for Florida State came on the road at Miami and then on the road at Virginia Tech. Hokies ranked number 11 in the country at the time of that meeting. The free throw shooting certainly played its part. So the Seminoles looking for just a little more their norm tonight. Typically a very good free throw shooting team.
High hands on the catch out of the zone.
5 to shoot for Dyaisha Hyman. Fajetti gets knocked down. Rice, the shot fake, gets herself an open look and hits. She likes being back in Tallahassee. Played down the road at Florida A&M to start her career. And then Latson, easy as you like. 11 now for Tanaya Latson. Woolley spinning her way to the basket. Massengill leading the break. Wants someone to pass to. That's a good choice.
When you've got a 3-on-2 and you've got Latson on the right wing, there's only one choice.
Well, she made the right choice then.
She fumbled it, and it affected Latson getting into the rhythm of her shot. Just threw it off at half a beat.
Again, low in the shot clock, under 5 for Syracuse. Hyman has to just fling it up, hope for contact, doesn't get it. Fair coming all the way down to try and stop Latson. She gets a little help from Fajetti. We'll go. Fair, a little off balance, doesn't matter. She's got 10.
I would love to see these two guards go back and forth. I would love to see Fair on one end and Latson on the other. That's got a high entertainment value if you like great guard play. And that's what we have here in this one in the third quarter.
Since we were talking great guard play, our crew here in Tallahassee, Debbie Antonelli, was listening when you posed this question pregame. Who you got one-on-one? If you're looking across the ACC, here are a few pretty good choices.
I mean, really good choices, and you could keep going. We just didn't have enough room. How about Cheyenne Day Wilson, Duke, Diamond Johnson, North Carolina State, Haley Van Lith, Louisville, Taylor Valladay, Virginia, Deja Kelly, North Carolina, Jewel Spear, Wake Forest, Haley Cavender, Miami. Okay, the point is, This is why the league is so good. Are there going to be any post players on the first team All-ACC is what I want to know, because the league is loaded with great guard play. And the great guard play carries you deep into March. The more guards you have, the better your opportunity is to advance. The greater your depth is in the backcourt, the better your opportunity to advance. There's no other league outside the ACC that has that many talented guards. It's just a fact. It's not an opinion.
Kennedy Perkins, a freshman guard, off the bench for Syracuse and onto the free throw line as Taylor O'Brien picked up the foul. While talking about how far these guards can potentially carry their teams come postseason. Don't look now, it's just around the corner. Charlie Cream about to get busy, although I'm fairly certain he doesn't sleep now. But this is who he has projected in at the moment from the ACC. And Syracuse right there on the bubble, first four out at the moment.
And every team listed has at least 2 really good guards, okay? And some of those teams have more than 2. And that's the difference when you get to postseason. The game slows down, it's controlled by the guards, possessions shrink. You have to execute. It all starts with guard play.
Nice spin from Valencia Myers. Her first points of the game.
Muffet McGraw knows what I'm talking about. She was loaded with guards when she won her national championships. I love talking to Muffet while she's in the studio. I don't really know if she's paying attention to what we're doing, but
I hope she
just for the record, she did not pick up our tab last week in South Bend.
We tried.
Yeah, just in case. We probably should have asked Matt, her husband. We probably would have maybe had a better chance. Just kidding you, Coach McGraw.
Nia Latson got a little breather back on the floor.
If Kelly and Kelsey and Lexi go out with Coach McGraw, just know head coach is always by.
Shot clock winding down. Woolley at the buzzer beats it. She has 10, and Syracuse not going away anytime soon. Now this has been their big quarter the last couple of games. Latson, oh my.
I mean, just weaves in and out. That's the downhill part of her game that I'm talking about. So quick and explosive. Plays the game on balance. I mean, you could draw a charge from her, but she's getting much better at avoiding that kind of play.
13 points in the game for Latson. Seminoles on the break with O'Brien.
Yeah.
It's an offensive foul.
Here's a problem with that play right there. O'Brien did not even look to advance pass, and Latson was calling for it. Latson was open. You got to throw the ball ahead. Let Latson make a play.
You know, the way this season has gone, I'm not sure anyone was prepared for what Tania Latson has come out and done for Florida State. She won the first 8 ACC Rookie of the Week awards. She's won it 9 times overall, so she's allowed a few other people to win it a couple times this season. But she's also a 3-time ACC Player of the Week. And what a incredible season she is having as a freshman.
Well, she's only had 1 game that she did not score in double figures. That was at Notre Dame. She had 9. I would say she didn't play her typical game, and I'm sure Notre Dame had something to do with that. But early on, to your point, Jen, when she started lighting up the scoreboard, everybody was like, who is this kid in Tallahassee? She started out the season with 28, 34, 19, 32, 21, 20. That got everyone's attention very quickly.
As it should. Now, has she cooled off a little bit, or have the defenses started to key in a little more? Sure, this is the ACC. They're not going to let anybody get away with continuing to just put up big numbers like that. Dyaisha Fair has certainly had a streak of 20-point games. Good drive from Gordon, and Myers with the follow.
Valencia Myers. You know, I tease Valencia when I see her because I'm always like, Valencia, you got to stop fouling. You know, and right there, did she commit a foul?
I'm blaming you.
You know what? She has only fouled out of 1 game. And coming off the bench, it's important that she is a factor and she's smart. She calls out their sets on the back. They need her on the court.
That's the second personal on Valencia in this game. Puts Woolley on the free throw line.
19 DQs in her career. And each year she's gotten a little bit better. And a couple of weeks ago, I was here for a Florida State men's game, and Valencia sat next to me the whole game and shouted what I was doing because she potentially would like to be in this business one day. And I had a great time with her. And I think the only thing she learned from me was I said it to her every chance I could was stop fouling.
That's that look. I know that look. I sit next to you and get that look a lot. That's a travel on Valencia.
I think Valencia's got a great personality. When you've been around the league as long as she has, and I have, you get a chance to know these kids. This is her 5th year here, and she's really an important part of what they do.
Stayed when a lot of others left. Transfer portal, coaching change. Sue Semrau stepping down, and Brooke Wyckoff officially taking over. Gordon, I believe, is going to get whistled for the foul on that drive from Kennedy Perkins. That is 3rd personal on O'Brien, who had 7 points in the first half, well, just above her season average. Massengill comes back on the floor. Well, ACC Unity Week tips off on Saturday. Here's our ACCN Men's Hoops doubleheader. Pitt tied at the top of the ACC, along with Virginia will take on Virginia Tech at 5. Then Clemson, team on the bubble with some work to do. They'll take on Louisville in the second game. The stretch run will separate the contenders right here on ACCN. Do we have a couple of contenders here in this game? Florida State feeling good for sure, looking toward the postseason as Myers picks up her 3rd personal, but they've been slipping here as of late. Charlie Cream just went back to double check. I said, Charlie, you did have them as a team hosting before these back-to-back losses in the NCAA tournament. He said he did. He has since changed that, and the Seminoles now dropping down in the ACC standings as well, but trying to get back on track. Another home game on Sunday here against Georgia Tech, then hit the road for their last 2 at Wake Forest and Clemson.
So Syracuse was 5 for 8 in the first half from the free throw line. And here in the 3rd quarter, they are already 6 for 7. So one of the things was keeping them off the line. Each team keeping the other off the line because of the way they're built offensively. And Syracuse doing a good job of digging back in this thing by getting to the line.
Now a 1-possession game with under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. The Orange have outscored the Seminoles 21-17 this quarter.
Get a 2-for-1 here, you score quickly.
And Massengill finds Latson.
Take the last shot if you want. You take the last shot.
Take her time.
That's what Coach Jack is asking for. Good awareness by Dyaisha Fair.
12 points in the game for Fair. Chance for Syracuse to tie with a 3. She'll go for the 2. Latson was there to bat it away. Everybody pointing one way or another, and it will be Florida State ball. 3.8 on the clock. Vegetti takes it from the logo. No go. And it is a 3-point lead for Florida State. A lot on the line. 10 minutes to go in Tallahassee.
Your grandmother's fine china, those trendy sneakers.
To score in the paint, and they got to the free throw line. All important factors on the road.
Can't talk to Coach Jack without hearing the words blue collar come out of her mouth when describing her team, and that's what you see there, right? They're working, they're getting to the line. 6-0 run over the last minute and a half. of the third quarter. Now Florida State trying to hang on here in the fourth.
Well, they isolate Latson, and she does a great job playing D and not fouling.
She goes inside to Simpson for an easy two. That's a post player who maybe could get some love. We'll see as you're talking all the guards. Simpson, shot blocking ability, rebounding, one of the best in the ACC.
Yeah, I think she's a little under the radar, to be honest with you.
Shot from the corner is good from Lewis.
On the national scene, but not under the radar by coaches and scouts, and certainly not our crew in the ACC studio.
Simpson takes her time. Dyaisha Fair under nobody's radar. She was making waves even when she was at Buffalo, scoring up a storm. One of the top scorers in the country. Number 3 amongst all active players in terms of all-time scoring. Lewis had the last basket. Rice picks it up. Shot clock did not reset. Almost the same spot where Lewis hit it from the last time.
There's a lot of contact on that drive by Fair.
Bajetti all the way to the basket.
See, Felicia Leggett is looking at, that's 2 points we didn't get with a foul going to the line or getting a chance to score, and 2 points they get on a transition opportunity.
Perkins. This is a shortened Syracuse bench. Asia Strong has been dealing with an injury. Cheyenne McEvans just announced before this game that she retore her ACL, is out for the season. Syracuse going to need some players like Perkins to come off the bench and help. Jump ball. Possession belongs to Florida State.
Perkins gave 2 minutes to give Tisha Hyman a couple more minutes of real-time rest.
Because remember, she's also coming back from injury. Last couple of games, she's been back, and somehow Latson keeps it alive.
Did you know the Globetrotters are going to be here soon?
I saw that.
There's a big advertisement out in front of the building. How about that play?
Get down low, get back up and go. Latson, showstopper, gets the rebound.
They don't like to bring two to the ball to her. They don't put her in a lot of ball screen action. There she rejects the screen, so she goes away from the help. They don't run a lot of drags. Watch this play right here. There's a lot of contact right there. First of all, it's probably a foul, but she keeps her dribble alive. That is an instinct to score all the time. It's fun to watch.
15 points in the game for Latson. She leads the ACC in 20-point games, but has not had one of those in over a month. Well, that changes tonight. We'll see as Massengill drives and is fouled.
And she still leads the ACC in scoring, right? There's no dip in her game. Yeah, freshman once in a while hit a little bit of a wall, but Brooke Wyckoff is managing her minutes and her practice and making sure she stays ready. This is a time where coaches talk reps versus rest.
There are your top 5 scorers in the ACC on the season. These are overall numbers. Latson and Fair 1 and 2 in that group. Haley Van Lith in action. She had a good first quarter tonight. Cardinals taking on Notre Dame over on ESPN. Couple missed opportunities at the free throw line from Massengill, who, as you pointed out earlier, a lot of great qualities that you like as a point guard, but not able to consistently knock down the free throw.
Oh boy, look
Fair.
at that. Oh. We're putting on a highlight reel right now.
What'd we tell you?
Here it comes.
Some great guards in this game, some top scorers. Dyaisha Fair says, I see you, Tania Latson. And here it is, Tania's turn. Simpson sticks with the play for 2 more. Simpson a couple rebounds away from a double-double. She's got 13 points, 8 boards. Fair Howard had the time to set up her shot. Rice did take some contact, just trying to weave through defenders.
Showtime, winning time, Dyaisha Fair time. Told you off the bounce she could separate. She's got all the shifts, the hezzy, the crossover, the step back, the change of pace. She's really good with the ball in her hands.
Well, that's how you execute out of bounds.
That's not going to look pretty on film tomorrow.
10 points in the game for Dariauna Lewis for Syracuse. 8 of those coming in the second half. Bajetti answers.
I mean, these players are so athletic. They're quick off their feet. They're strong with the ball.
Rice, Simpson coming over. I think she got a piece of that one with that wingspan you talked about, Debbie.
I mean, you're just driving into traffic. And you want to drive in there, play off 2 feet, make a kick to the perimeter and set somebody up, okay. But both teams are playing really hard.
A lot to play for tonight. There always is. That's what you hope anyway as you get to this point in the season. Woolley. Simpson was there again, at least making her think about the shot blocker inside, but there was a foul called on the play. It was on Simpson. That'll be her third. Lewis again gets the ball.
Well, they are really letting them play.
And it's going to stay on this end of the floor. There is certainly some frustration mounting for Florida State right now. $14 points for Fair. Make it 16.
I think she's just getting warmed up. If they're going to win, they got to put the ball in her hands.
We asked who you got. Who you got, fans? Is it going to be Dyaisha Fair and Syracuse on the road tonight, or is Sanaya Latson going to lead this Florida State team to a much-needed victory? Snap that 2-game losing streak. Howard. Five-point Florida State lead. Dyaisha Fair steps it back, knocks it down.
Here we go. Oh. We sold it at the top. We told you how good they were. They've done it all season. Latson with a nifty move to score. And on the other side, it's the veteran, the savvy, the creative, the shifty, Dyaisha Fair.
ACC Network Basketball is presented by Ally. Whatever you're saving for, we're all better off with an Ally. Who's gonna hang tough in this one? 2-point game, 4:24 to play in Tallahassee. Sanaya Latson leading Florida State with 15. Dyaisha Fair, 19 points, starting to heat up. 7 of those points for Fair in the fourth quarter.
Good seal inside by Simpson.
Shot blocker had her shot blocked by Sanaya Wilson, but stays with the play.
Really good play. Good job by Florida State to space the floor and allow Simpson to go one-on-one.
15 in the game now for Simpson.
Bajetti almost face guarding Fair.
Wilson back on the floor, had to sit for a while with those 3 fouls after starting the second half for Syracuse.
There's a little drag action for Latson and bucket.
Back and forth we go. Latson now with 17 for the Noles.
She's good in actions, but she's really good with the ball in her hand. So is Fair. They don't need a lot of help. Neither coach really likes to bring 2 to the ball.
Albajetti's going to be called for the foul. That was a great look at that, wasn't it? We got to see right where we're sitting Bajetti as she was trying to stick with Dyaisha Fair. She winds up picking up a foul, her 3rd, as we'll take a break with just over 3 to go here at Florida State. Two big-time scorers on the floor for their respective teams tonight. Dyaisha Fair with 19 to lead Syracuse, but her Orange trailing Florida State by 6. Tenaya Latson leading the way for the Seminoles, as she has done so much of this season. 17 points for the freshman.
Remember what's on the line for this game. Syracuse sitting on the bubble, needs a quality win. Florida State on the host bubble, wants to host and play as one of the top 16 seeds in the NCAA tournament.
And remember also, think about ACC tournament implications. Florida State wanting to get into the top 4, get that double bye in the ACC tournament. Syracuse, they're 9th right now coming into tonight. The top 9 get a bye in the ACC tournament in Greensboro. So these are some of the things hanging in the balance in Tallahassee tonight.
I think good verticality underneath the basket right there.
And there is no foul. Both players knocked to the ground. Simpson, who's working a double-double already. Her 12th of the season, came away with the rebound. What's important here, Debbie, for Florida State with the lead?
Well, they have to execute, and I think that Latson has to get a touch here. It's who you trust down the stretch. Now you're inside 5 on the shot clock, and Massonville doesn't recognize it.
Bajetti takes the 3, and Latson had both hands in the air, never got the ball.
Poor possession by Florida State.
All right, on the other side, Fair has had a quarter where she started to come alive a little more for Syracuse. Woolley in the paint.
They had such a good 3rd quarter getting to the free throw line, did Syracuse, and they haven't done it very well here. You got to really get a stop here right now if you're Florida State. And good timeout by Brooke Wyckoff. The trap was coming. Now keep in mind that Syracuse only has 2 team fouls. Florida State with 3. Fouls coming here.
Show the world what it means to be an ACC fan.
Minute 30 to play at Florida State. The Seminoles trying to hang on to this 6-point lead at the moment. They've got 3 timeouts remaining, 2 for Syracuse. And on the Orange, a couple fouls to give before they put Florida State on the line.
So that means for Felicia Leggett, Jack, her team, you got to go aggressive, try to trap, try to get a steal, okay? And don't give up anything over the top or behind your defense. I would play it straight up right here. I wouldn't foul with 18 on the shot clock. But I would make sure you rebound. You got to get a stop here. It's really important for Syracuse to win on the road. There it is.
They get the ball back in their hands. Now take care of business on the offensive end.
I would not let her catch if I was Bajetti.
Fortunate.
Now you got to get a trap or a steal. Go hard for a trap.
Minute now to play.
Same situation here. I don't think Coach Jack wants to foul.
3-possession game. Florida State could make it more. Howard wants to say good night. And a foul called on the play as well.
I think the foul is on the screen. And so the officials are coming together to discuss if the ball was released before the foul was committed. There's the foul on Lewis. Did she release the ball in time?
And the rules this year on the interpretation, the foul is when it was observed, not necessarily when the whistle was blown.
I think the ball is out of her hands before the foul. I think the basket should count, and I think this is going to be free throws. Now, they could be looking to see if it's intentional, which I do not believe it would be an upgrade. Then they have to also check the time on the clock. Yeah, they're going to count the basket, and they're going to get the ball out of bounds under the basket. No free throws.
So third personal foul on Dariauna Lewis, which occurred after Erin Howard made that three.
What a gutsy three by Erin Howard. The last few possessions, Latson did not touch the ball for Florida State.
And now Syracuse playing the foul game. The next one will put Florida State on the free throw line. Fourth foul there on Wilson.
Let Massagill catch it. She's the worst free throw shooter on the floor. She shoots 45%.
She's 0 for 2 tonight from the line.
Don't even guard her. Let them inbound it to her and then foul her.
Simpson waits for the contact to come, and it does. And as much as we've talked, and understandably so, deservedly so, about Tenaya Latson, Simpson's had a big game tonight too for Florida State. 15 points, 13 rebounds. For 2 from the line, and also 3 blocks in the game, Debbie, for Simpson. So a force as she has been most of the season on both ends.
She'll stay on top of the ACC in that category once again with 3 blocks today, which is above her average. And her league leading 2.3 blocks per game. Here's what's at stake, Jen. Florida State wants to be a top 4 seed in the ACC tournament, and the next reveal that comes out, they'd love to be sitting in the top 16 in the NCAA tournament, and then Syracuse, of course, is on that bubble.
You think for Florida State that is within their grasp if they finish out their regular season as they hope they will, get wins, and then maybe go to the ACC tournament?
Well, the difference for
Noise.
I think for Brooke Wyckoff and her team, the next 3 games they're supposed to win. And for Syracuse, it's a little more challenging for them. They got 2 games remaining, Miami at home and at Pittsburgh, who's been playing better lately.
Foul by Massengill as Woolley tries to force the issue.
I mean, Florida State had fouls to give, but you don't want to foul the jump shooter if that's what you're intending to do. And I'm not sure that Brooke Wyckoff wanted her team to foul. Why would you stop the clock and put a shooter to the line? There's a couple of things here that Coach Wyckoff can clean up in film tomorrow.
Help this team get ready for their stretch run. You talked about what's coming up. I will be back here on Sunday as the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets pay a visit, and then that's it for home games for Florida State, unless they do earn an opportunity to host in the postseason, because then they go on the road to Wake Forest and to Clemson before heading to Greensboro in the ACC tournament. And for Syracuse, Debbie, this is another game where Coach Jack has seen this team be right right there. I mean, this is what this league is this year, right? And this is a team that came into tonight 9th in the standings in the ACC, but they've been close. I mean, it was a one-possession game in the fourth quarter at one point.
Look, overall, the level of improvement and the excitement around the program stems from the enthusiasm that Coach Jack brings every day. That's why the athletic director, John Wildhack's got to be pleased with the improvement, with the trend, the energy. I mean, Coach Boeheim, I don't think minds her coming in and sitting in his office, because she told me she does that quite a bit. She says she's known Coach Boeheim since she was in the 7th grade.
Latson adds a couple more to her total. 19 for the freshman tonight.
I'm not sure what Syracuse was doing on that play.
Not much left for the Orange to do, with time running out and the lead growing for Florida State. But yeah, I remember when Coach Jack told us that story about not just going to see Coach Boeheim, but I believe her words were barging into his office all the time because she wanted to go in and talk with him. Rice,
another
she's
rebound.
had a fantastic game, Alaina Rice.
17 boards for Rice.
Tania Latson not going to try for 20, at least not right away. Time on her side. The Seminoles looking to snap this 2-game losing streak. They'll do it with a win tonight, Debbie.
A convincing win in the second half. Good balance by Florida State, and when Syracuse put some game pressure on them, they responded. Big win to hold home court.
So the Seminoles taking care of business at home tonight in a busy night in ACC women's hoops. No better place to be than right here on ACCN. Debbie and I will say goodbye, but you are in very good and capable hands.